All right, after 1 year, I replaced my compressor with a new Valeo compressor, hoping that it might not have as many issues as Sanden. I learned real quick after a year that all of a sudden the AC just stopped working. Very suspicious that it's this valve. There really isn't very easy ways to diagnose the system. The best way to diagnose it, honestly, is just replace this valve and see if it works. It's not that hard to do, but it's not that easy either. So on the Valeo compressor, they have one that starts with a Z. I can't remember the name of it, that uses the same one. And if you notice on your old one, there's a typically a little filter that's on the end of here. You don't necessarily need that. The RKX valves are the best quality. They really try to get the parts made right so that you don't have the issues again. All my other cars that I've had replaced with the RKX valves, it's usually a permanent repair. I've had a few people comment that theirs didn't work. I mean, that's possible with any part. You could get one that's defective right out of the box, but again, like I said, I think these guys are really trying to get the QC down to make it a better quality part. And like I said, in my other cars, I always go with these guys. It's literally $20 difference between them and the China junk that you probably will get that may or may not work at all. And it's not that easy to do it twice. So on mine, I did remove the fans. It is much easier to do. The fans take about 15 minutes to take out. You literally have 4 bolts. One here, you have this hose to take out. There's 4 bolts, and unplug the fans. There's like a little lever right here on the plug. You lift that part up, and then you can just remove the plug for the fans. They come right out. And what that does is it just gives you a lot more room to get the circlip off of this. Here's the old one. Remember, you need to remove all your Freon from your system, and how you do that wherever you live, based on wherever you live, that's completely up to you. You will notice that when you take this valve out, be sure to stand clear. A lot of times there's pressure behind there even though the Freon is out. So I go ahead and I just pop this guy out of here. This is the old one. I had to mutilate, on mine, had to mutilate the plug to get the circlip off. Expect that you're probably gonna have to do the same. So here's the new one to the right, old one to the left. You notice the plug is all broken. That's how you get the circlip out of there. So what I always do is lubricate the O-rings right here with PAG oil or whatever the proper oil is for your system. On mine, it was PAG oil, so that's what I'm using. To remove my O-ring, I used a hook like this. I couldn't use snap ring pliers. They didn't really, I've got a few different types and nothing seemed to really work very well. I was able to kind of pull it down and then shove a little screwdriver underneath it and walk it around to get the snap ring out. So that's how I did mine. I will tell you, on this Valeo compressor, it is much harder than it is in the Sanden. Just so you know, it might take you an hour or two trying to get this snap ring out. Real quick, you want to go to their website is best to order these. You can order them through Amazon and they come sometimes a little quicker, but they do cost a little more that way. But to make sure you have the right one, if you notice this one has a filter, the other one didn't. But if you look at how this is stair-stepped here, and then there's a space, and there's an O-ring, then there's a little space, and there's like a little filter, and there's another O-ring. You know, you got to kind of really look at that, look at their website to be really observant. If you can't figure it out on your own, I would highly suggest that you would send them a picture of your valve. So you might have to take it out first and send them a picture of it, and also send them a picture of the label on your compressor. or even the whole compressor if you can, as much of it as possible, and let them help you get the right one. Typically, it's kind of self-explanatory. I was able to get the right one by just looking at it very observantly and just kind of looking at the space here, look at the space there, the filter, this little O-ring, and this big stair step right here at my thumb. And it didn't say that it fits a Valeo compressor. It said it was something that starts with a Z. I think that they're just the same compressor but just rebranded. So anyway, that, you know, there's a lot of them do interchange, but you need to know that you have the right proper one for your car. And the RKX people are really good at helping you make sure you get the right one through email with pictures. That's the best way. Don't call them. To get this back in, it's nice to have a little light right here. I just use those same two tools. I'll show you. These things from Harbor Freight is what I ended up using to put it in. Again, I couldn't get any kind of snap ring pliers. I have several. I have the straight ones. I've got big ones. I got angled ones. None of them would reach in there. So I got all these little ones. I've got plenty of different tools, and I was not able to get in there with anything but these. But I just kind of held one end of it in and then walked it around with the other one, and it went into place. And on this one, it has a notch right here, so you got to put the snap ring on with the part all at once. So you kind of put the snap ring on the part, put it on, make sure it's snapped all the way in. You'll feel it, it'll just go punk all the way in like that, and then you can see the snap ring groove. Before that you can't see it. That's why you need that PAG oil on there to make sure that it doesn't get stuck. Now I'll just put the fans back in. I'll bring you back in, show you a couple more little things. Yeah, to get the fans out, you also pull the infamous air cleaner out. That's that in the belly pan. It's kind of like a gimme. So hypothetically, let's just say you're driving down the road and your Freon all leaked out of your car. I'm not telling you to take it out of your car any other way. Technically, you should take it to a shop and have them take all the Freon out and recover it so that it doesn't go into the air. But if you were driving down the road and your hose blew off and you had no Freon in your car, there's really nothing anybody can do, right? So you can get a set of gauges like this once the Freon's out and recovered, and one of these things here from Harbor Freight Tools, which will evacuate and put your system into a vacuum. Now, if you were on the side of the road somewhere and your Freon had leaked out into the air somehow, okay, and you're in a country where they don't really care or whatever, you could do this by you could just add Freon back into your system, and it would probably, more than likely, it's going to work. But it's going to shorten the life of your AC system, because if you don't use a vacuum, to bring it down to a vacuum, what the vacuum does is it takes any water vapor that's in the atmosphere that's inside your AC system that might have gotten there while you're taking out, you know, especially if you had it open for any amount of time. I would always recommend putting the valve back in. If you're going to leave it open for a couple days, if you have to wait for it, just stick the valve back in there and make sure it's sealed up. But anyway, you want to turn your system into a vacuum. What that does is water boils at a lower temperature when it's in a vacuum. In fact, when it's in a vacuum, it just becomes immediate vapor and then gets sucked out of the system by using one of these vacuum powered, it's a air powered vacuum pump. So all you do is you just hook up your air line to this thing here. It's kind of loud, so I don't want to do it right now, but connect it up to there. Make sure this valve here is open. Make sure these two valves are open, this one and this one. Your blue is connected to your low side, your red is connected to your high side, and you just plug this guy in, and as soon as it's at a full vacuum I usually wait about 10 minutes. Then what I do is I shut this valve and I shut that valve, and what that does is that seals the system, and then you can put your Freon can either on here or carefully remove the low side and use your typical one like this. Now, on a Volkswagen, you make sure you do not overcharge the system. If you overcharge the system, you'll find that it will work a lot of times at idle, and then as soon as you start driving down the road, you're gonna, all of a sudden your AC system is gonna shut off because it has a high pressure switch, and what's gonna happen is you're gonna be driving down the road, it's gonna reach a high pressure switch, is gonna trigger and turn your AC system off. If you're finding that after you did the service, then you probably overcharged it. You can just remove some of the Freon, go to your recovery station and do that, and put in the proper amount. In this car, it is, I think it's 525 grams of, I've done this a couple times, yeah, 525 grams, duh, it's like big letters there. Well, couldn't have missed that one. 525 grams, which is about, I think, a can and a little bit more. So don't overcharge it. It's really important. And put in the proper amount of Freon. So these are 340 grams, so you need 525. I don't know, do the math and make sure you get the proper amount in. It's around a can and a half or something. A little shy of that maybe. So I usually do that while I'm putting the air cleaner back on. So I have this thing running while I'm putting the air cleaner back on. It gives me about 10 minutes and I'm done. Go ahead and put the Freon in. It's over. AC problem is solved. Okay, real quick. This is pretty much all the AC problems that go out on these cars. One, that valve goes bad. It's 99.9% of the problems that people will comment all kinds of stuff. Hey man, my AC is intermittent. It works out. Sometimes I get in it when it's cold. It kicks on. It doesn't work, or it's hot and it doesn't work. Whatever. 99% of that's that. So if your AC is not working at idle, or you're driving down the road and your car stopped at a light and it starts to get warm inside the car, and as soon as you start to go down the road, it starts cooling down. More than likely, you have an issue with your fans, because if your fans aren't blowing air through them all the time, your AC system, when it's sitting, when the car's just sitting there, is not going to work properly. But when you're going down the road, if you're on the highway for long periods of time, it might work fine. So you want to take a very close look at your fan motors. Auto House Arizona has the fan motor for the big one, pretty reasonable. Make sure you get a good Mahle fan for the driver's side if you need to replace it. The auxiliary fan is a little less picky. You can get a cheaper one for that, and it usually works just fine. But how you know is by coming out here and looking at your fans. Sometimes they'll work intermittently because it's a brush. They have brushes inside of them, and the brush might be working then, and the next time it's not working. So sometimes the fans are the issue for the car. Most of the time it's that valve, but sometimes it's the fans. The other issues are if there's no air coming out of the vents. If there's no air coming out of the vents, it's either one of two things. Typically, it could be a number of millions of different things, but these are the most common things you'll run into. And if you guess, you're probably going to be right. By just going with it. So it's really hard to diagnose the AC system in this car. So it's cheaper probably just to guess and start buying parts. Honestly, that's a bad thing to say, but it's the truth. So blower motor. Is underneath. There's tons of videos on replacing it. You just push a little lever, you twist it, and unplug the wires, put a new one in. It takes about 10 minutes to replace. So if there's no air coming out of it, typically it's a blow motor. They also have a blower and resistor if it's only working on one fan speed. Sometimes the blower motor will be causing resistance and actually make the resistor go bad. I don't know exactly where they are in this car. I never had to replace mine, but it could go bad as well. The other thing that typically happens on these is they have something underneath the dash. It's located about right here, right in this section, and it's called a power control module. And the power control module gives the fan power. It does also a bunch of other things, but I've had those fail, and you have to, that is a dealer part. It also has to be programmed by using a VADCOM, so it's a little more complicated repair. If yours is out, it's something you're going to need a VCDS or VAGCOM and a bit of knowledge to be able to replace it. It's really not hard to replace. It's just like unplug a couple plugs, plug a couple plugs in, put it in. Actually, before you do that, you want to pull the coating out of it through VAGCOM, and then unplug a couple of plugs and plug the plugs back in. Then you put your same coating back in the new one. It's got to be done that way. If you don't, that's what I'm saying. It's a little more complicated. That will cause the fans not to work at all as well. Usually the AC light will light up and no fans. Same thing as the blower motor. But I think that kind of covers most common problems with these cars. If you just replace those parts, more than likely you're gonna be guessing right. And if you try and take it to a shop and have it diagnosed, it's going to cost you a ton of money, and they're probably just going to guess too. So just, I mean, it's not easy there's no specific way to get the pressures out of the system and find out what they are, what they should be, and all that stuff. It's very, very hard to do because of the valve system. This is a clutchless. It does not have a clutch that turns on and off like most AC systems. That valve is a variating pressure valve, which is completely over-engineered, and in my opinion, one of the worst designed AC systems there is, because it's just so complicated. It really doesn't need to be that way. So, but it just is what it is. So if you got a Volkswagen, you just have to deal with that. So but they don't have a clutch. Remember, most of your AC systems have a clutch. If you hear that click, 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 disengages, engages, you won't hear that. I guess that's maybe they're trying to get rid of that noise. I don't know. It was kind of, to me, I'd rather hear that noise. It's much easier to fix. But that's why that valve it replaces the clutch type system. So anyway, that's how it works. So it makes it hard to it makes it impossible to diagnose, because you can't hear the clutch engaging or disengaging. So that helps you diagnose things and some of that stuff. So and everything operates on odd voltages. So it's impossible to get like gauges out and try and put them on there unless you're really well versed with these cars. You're just not going to be able to do it. So best just get the money out, throw it at it, and see if you can fix it. It might save you a lot more money than it actually would just to take it to a shop and have a diagnosis. It'll probably cost you more to have the diagnosis done than just replacing all those parts that I'm talking about. So anyway, I'll talk to you guys in the next video. That's how I'm going to do it. I'll talk to you next video. Hopefully it helps you and get you back on the road with your AC, especially if you're on the road. Really hot. It's really hot. You absolutely need AC, man. Talk to you next one.